Alrighty, everybody. Welcome to video number 5 in mobile application development for behavioral science. We're picking up from our last project where we put together an emulator to use as a target to deploy the application we're currently putting together. So we're going to pick up from there. So we're going to launch Visual Studio. We're going to pull up our current or our most recent project, which is still named number 3, because we haven't changed too much in 4. So we'll see we're back to where we were. And it looks like everything's loaded. It's giving us feedback that it found all the stuff that it needed. So before we do anything, we need to start up our emulator. I think my phone's still plugged in. So sometimes it'll guess and pull up the emulator you want, but it's usually good practice to be specific about the emulator you want to use, because it'll just pull up like the first one or the most recent one. So for this purposes, for our purposes here, I'll have you go in here, pick it, and then start it manually. Alright, now we see it loading up. Well, look, it's I didn't close this once it's starting. And here we see that we have like icons and all that stuff, and we can work on this like it's a regular type of application. So you can play with these widgets. I like to get rid of them because I don't know, I just don't like them. So we'll get rid of all these. So this emulator is good to go. You can actually just minimize that down. So now that that's running, we see that it's up here. Visual Studio knows that this is something that's around if you want to send stuff to it. So for now, we'll close all this out and look at our projects. We unloaded the Windows ones since odds are you're probably not doing a Windows Phone application, because not many people do. But we have a Droid project here and an iOS project here. Now, what each of these do is, this is a lot of code to kind of decipher, but we're going to look down and we see for the Android project, it's loading at the end this app class, which is really what our portable application up here is. So this whole project really serves to get everything ready to launch this project. And the Apple project is largely the same, where it's loading up, it's getting things ready for Apple, and it's telling here that, alright, load up this app delegate, where it says go here, and really it's doing the same kind of thing for Apple, where it's loading this app project. So of all the things you really want to orient to, just know that each of these projects are the foundation to load this. So up here in our portable class is really where all the code is going to be. Now we need these two projects to tell Visual Studio how we want to prepare this app. So there's a Droid one, there's an Apple one, there could be a Windows one, there could be a lot. But if we try to say start up this program in iOS, and we don't have anything plugged in, we'll see that it built, but Visual Studio is going to say, alright, well, we built something for Mac, but we don't really see any Mac stuff here. I do have a Mac, but we're not going to do that right now. And I'll say, yeah, we need to be connected to something that can build it before we can do too much. So what we learned is, since right now what we have is an Android emulator running, we have to select the Droid project. So we're going to set this as our startup project. Now here we see that we do have a device that's close. So we're going to click, we can click this button here, or we can go to we could build and deploy here. It's just easier to hit the green button, so we'll hit the green button. So what it's going to do is it's going to start building all the things we need. It usually lets you know down here that a build started, and usually if it's this box with this arrow just kind of going down in there, it's building. And this is Xamarin turning all of this code into stuff that can work with this type of Droid project. And then it puts it together, it starts building the project, and then it sends it to the emulator. And what we see here is, in our emulator, this is our application. I mean, nothing to brag about just yet, but in here we have a title, we have a simple message, and if we were to go back, we would see that this would be our regular app. So we would be able to launch it or minimize it. It would just be like a regular app on Android. So if this is your first application, congratulations. This is the simplest type of application we could possibly do. It just really has just one screen and one view, and these are kind of project defaults. But as we move forward with making this app, we'll add more features and build onto it. So congratulations on building your first app. Our next tutorial will focus on tweaking a little bit of this interface, adding some components that we think we'll need to put together this functional communication type app. So keep watching the website and follow with the channel, and hear from me then. Alrighty.